creates the music for you?
I think when very simply put, I love 80s rock. So I think that's definitely where I start. And then I love all sorts of modern pop and rock music. So I think it really is just a blend of 80s rock with modern pop rock is probably the simplest way I can explain it. And again, when I first started, I really wanted to be in contact with the fans pretty regularly. And one of the other things I want to do is I don't want them to get bored of me. I didn't want to sit and put a medium, rock song out there every single month. So I experiment. And I think a lot of my stuff, I've done stuff that is more on the folk side, the pop rock, but it's rare for me to say that one of my songs is strictly pure pop. I mean, it's always a fusion of at least two genres, I think. And, that's kind of what I'm doing.
I have to agree with you because in listening to your music, I've had that same feeling. I'm saying, well, wait a minute. If this guy is doing pop rock, this is something a little different here that doesn't really fit that niche. And I think that's wonderful because people that know me know that one of the things I love is an artist who can, for lack of a better way of putting it, cross genres successfully. I mean, not just do it as a gimmick and, incorporate rap in the country music or something like that, but to actually, go out of the box and cross a genre and come up with a really solid finished product. And you've done that in many of the tracks that I've listened to where you've gone from, as you said, there's a definite 80s rock influence there. You've gotten into pop, rock, and even to a little bit electronic. Have you dabbled with electronic music?
I have, yeah, David. I have. In fact, the song coming out next month is definitely, the next two songs actually are, I would definitely say electronic is the primary genre for those. And I like to, I don't know if people have realized this yet, but what I always kind of do is in the summer, I try to release summery type songs. So those tend to be more on the electronic, pop, dance kind of style. Mm-hmm. Because I just think it's summer. No one wants to hear a depressing love ballad in the summer. And, there's a method to the madness.
Sure. And I know that you have pointed out that you just don't like to release robotic music. And I guess this translates. I've never had the privilege and fortune of catching you in a live concert, but I guess this carries over into your live concerts or even in the reverse from your live concerts to your recorded music.
Yeah, I think nowadays you can, when you first start, I think everyone wants to be a perfectionist and they want to use auto-tune and really, really make everything sound perfect, but that's not what music is. So to me, as the last 4 years have evolved, not only do I continue to learn about music and lyrics and just everything from theory to practical, applications and how to sing, but I have totally changed what I think, and I think music is meant to be imperfect, and there's certainly times when I'm sitting there spending like 100 hours trying to, make some kick drum sound perfect. But on the flip side, I think if it sounds too perfect, like it was made on a computer, it just doesn't have that authentic vibe. So I think, especially in concert, I think you just got to be yourself. It's okay if you miss a pitch. It's okay if it's not perfect, but it's real. You don't have to like switch your mic off every time you're talking to the crowd versus singing. And I see this all the time, even on TV and concerts where they're clearly not singing.
Right.
And it's just kind of sad because I understand the hit songs. People want them to sound pretty much like they do, but there's plenty of other songs where you can make it an acoustic or you could just go off track or you can have some cool solos. And I think that's a very needed part of music. I really do.
I have to agree, and Jon and I, both as former broadcast radio people, have discussed this several times, the fact that sometimes recordings can be too sterile. You go in the studio and you use auto-tune and all these other tricks of the trade to make them perfect, and they come out being too perfect, and you lose the emotion and the spontaneity. Speaking of Jon, I know you have something you'd like to jump in with there, Jon BonJovial.
Well, yes, absolutely. absolutely. Thank you, David. First of all, I haven't had a chance to say it yet, Sarantos, but welcome. We are so glad to have you with us. My question is the influences in your life. In listening to your music, you can point in several different directions. Oh, there's a little bit of this in there, a little bit of that in there. But, I want to hear it from the proverbial horse's mouth. Who has influenced you the most? Who is your muse, if you will?
I would, again, if I had to pick one genre, I'd say 80s rock. But specifically within that, I have a lot of influences, but when I think of my core of who really motivates me, I would definitely say bands like Survivor, Journey, Def Leppard, Michael Jackson, just because I loved what they did, just with passion, emotion, and that right there is a wide variety where people are like, wait a minute, you're those aren't exactly all the same.
Absolutely.
But, whether you go, there's songs from U2, Bruce Springsteen, modern artists, Katy Perry, Taylor Swift, Justin Bieber. I learn from everybody, and I'm influenced by them because there's nothing cooler than when a song really hits you. When it really just, people always try to define what's a hit song. We all chase it. And I stopped doing that a year ago because I really realized it's really about the emotion. I did 2 years ago, I released my top song was What If I Never See You Again, which I wrote about my father. And my father had passed away, and it was kind of the inspiration to that song. But basically, I would get emails and I'd get, comments from people that were like, wow, this really touched me. My husband just died. And it really got me thinking that every song, there's some songs like the one out right now called Above the Clouds, which is a feel-good, positive song no matter what happens. It's always sunny above the clouds. But every song's different. And I don't want to sit there and write all depressing love songs and happy love songs. So the other thing I try to do is I want my songs to be relatable, but I don't want them to all be the same.
Great, and you do an excellent job of that. Listeners, if you look him up, check his music on Reverb Nation and wherever else you go to get your music. You'll see exactly what he was just saying. Sarantos, I want to thank you for coming by and spending some time with us today, and I want to thank you also for answering what was going to be my last question, which was to have you tell us a little bit about this next song we're going to play. So we'll leave it at that, and I'll invite you to come back, keep in touch with us, let us know what's going on. I have a couple of pages on Facebook. Just search whatever that noise was. Just search The David Bowers on Facebook, and there's a page there where you can post your upcoming events, releases, and everything. Keep in touch with us. Let us know perhaps when those albums come out, and have you back on and share some more with us.
Yeah, absolutely. David and John, I want to thank you guys, and I'd be happy to be on again anytime.
Our pleasure. Thank you again. Ladies and gentlemen, Sarantos, and here's his latest called Above the Clouds.
No matter how
Yeah, that's Sarantos. I'm the David Bowers. Thank you, Sarantos. Thank you, Jessie Lee Cates. And thank you, listeners, for being with us. Jon BonJovial, take us home.
Oh, my brother, I am on my way. The David Bowers Awards is broadcast around the world through the facilities of Computer Help USA in Naples, Florida, and also from the Valley of the Sun in beautiful Arizona. And we are available for free listen and download on iTunes, 365 Internet Radio, and Spreaker. And be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter and all those other silly social media sites. Join us next week for the David Bowers Awards, Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern on WRFZ FM 106.3 Rochester, New York. That is Rochester Free Radio. And on Blog Talk Radio, Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific, and 7 p.m. Greenwich time for more great indie music and talk with the artists who make it all happen. Until next week, for the David Bowers and everybody else here at the David Bowers Awards, I'm Jon BonJovial.